Hello, greetings. Welcome to, at the time of recording, the latest, newest, and perhaps even most up-to-date MVR root building Trainz TRS-19 Twitch live stream. However, all of those things regarding the timing will likely change by the time that Thursday or even Sunday comes around. So, welcome. Hello, Kangafango. Today, I'm going to continue working down here, the last bit of the map, which is going to extend to probably here or something like that. Last time, we got a bit done. Not quite as much as I'd hoped, but we did get a bit done. Namely, well, we talked a lot about flowers and a lot about deities. Because I was asked about these things. And here, this may not look like we've done a lot of building here, but once Trainz remembers that we actually did do building here, then it should actually put the objects back to where they should be. So let's just give it about maybe 10 to 20 minutes. The final leg. If this were a journey, then, well, not quite. Maybe the penultimate one, considering that sessions are also a thing. One flower we forgot, tulips. Yeah, tulips are nice. But I associate tulips more with carefully cared for gardens, not so much wilderness. And therefore, they rank lower in my favorite flowers, because I like flowers in wilderness, or flowers that I associate with wilderness, more. Watercress. You can list pretty much every other flowering plant that we didn't cover yet before. Does 19 chemical plant? Pond water ring a bell? There we go. Fuchsia or fuchsia, or however that is pronounced in English too. So yeah, detailing, ground painting, stuff like that over here. I think that it turned out quite nice, even though obviously not finished. We need vehicles parked, we need dumpsters, we need all sorts of stuff around here. But I don't want to do that much detailing at the moment. I want to get more broad strokes done. So for example, putting a strip of fields along here, and then starting to fill in this area. And then once we've done all those things, then we can revisit some of these areas and maybe add a little bit more detail, especially since we'll know more what this area is like performance-wise then. Oh, that's wrong. I didn't mean to. There we go. The last time I did this sort of thing was on the Haddoncourt tramway. I know they could be larger. Well, about the same size as those ones, but yeah, I could increase the size of these a little bit. Maybe a little bit further this way. Okay, let's have a look from down here. Yeah, that looks reasonable. And I think having this bit be a meadow might look quite nice as well. And then we don't actually need that much more. Especially if we... Let's actually put trees along there. Maybe this could be enough as it is. Ah, I don't have my... I do not have my trees one. My trees pick list, because this is not my computer. Well, I guess I'm just gonna place them and get them manually from over here. So where do I want the trees to be? Do I want there to be trees along this bit? Or is that going to block the view too much? That's going to block the view too much. I would rather have this be a little bit more open, which means I'd likely want to have some trees along here. What does that look like? Yeah, that's good. Sorry, I didn't remember. No, it's fine, because the pick list was in a specific order as well. It was in the order, if I remember correctly, it was in the order of how I wanted to place the trees. Like, I wanted to place these trees first, then those ones, then a pass of those ones, and then just so that I could just go through the list and fill them in that way. But yeah, we don't really know the order unless we went back and specifically watched one of the old live streams and then tried to copy it from there, but that sounds like a lot of trouble to go to for something like this. Also, I actually quite like the look of being able to see through those trees there. Maybe I'll add a little dirt track going between the fields here. I should tell you what. This road asset has been an asset that I wanted to replace for such a long time because of how dark the shadows look. So let's just try and see what this looks like if I just were to replace it with the one that I've used between the houses. We will have to have a little look around the map. Trees, I can see right through you. Check on my PL1 route. I used a good dirt road asset. Oh? I was just going to use this one. Is this not the one that you've used? Okay, I'll have a map. I'll have a look on the map with your permission. Is it okay if I show it on stream? Okay. Locomotive showcase, you said? No, sorry. PL1. The one by the greenhouses. I'll have a look. Next to the forest, between the fences. So that's where the thieves get rid of all their stolen goods. Ah, you mean... Hold on, where are the greenhouses? I don't think it's loaded in yet properly. You've put a lot of detail into this. See, I would have expanded the route a bit and built a few more baseboards and then added more details, just so that you don't get too many details in one small area and then it starts lagging, which I don't know if it will actually lag or if it's fine, but that's what I would have done. Plus I know that the passenger assets do tend to lag in this version a bit as well. Okay, so where are those greenhouses? All of these ones look a little, well, brown and grey and beige. Is this the road you meant? This road, the white one. It's the road. It's this road. It has loaded the whitely gravelled one. Oh, doesn't lag, but we'll see. Well, at the moment it does lag a little bit. Well, while I'm streaming, at least. But even, well, I guess you'll see. So you meant this one then? Let's have a look. What? Don't worry, I won't save. Well, that's not a very good comparison. Tell you what, I'll grab the road and then I'll exit out. Yeah, I didn't properly remember the asset, sorry. I just thought it might fit. Well, maybe it will. We'll see. I think I scrolled past it. There we go. Yeah, if I were to edit these streams, I'd cut this bit out, but I don't, so I won't. Oh well, guess we'll wait for another 2 to 3 hours. So Kanga, what sort of projects are you working on? I do think the left one's closer to the one that I had. So I'll try that one first. Anywhere en route, and let's see what this does. Okay. So far, so none. That road is apparently a little lower than the others. Can I raise this up slightly? Yes. Good. Actually, let's... Okay, we'll kind of have to check the branch now to see if we've got any other of those crossings. Yeah, it looks quite good here as well. Let's hide the hiddens. Well, I started the route that you've just gone back in October, I believe. Yeah, I see. Agreed. 2 days back, I expanded Area 2 level of Project Front Up behind the boulder next to Fred the Gario. Not a link. Okay, that looks much better. Yes, yes. And I know that this isn't technically expanding the route, but it does make it look so much nicer, and it's been such a long time coming. Okay, there's one more bit I need to fix here. Looking back, when you first noticed the shadow bug in the dirt road around 2.5 years back, you could have wrote the asset's author about it, but I guess this road works too. Yeah, I think it's just to do with PBR stuff. And it was a jointed rail asset as well, I think. And, well, I don't know. Oops. There we go. Sometimes you've got to use little tricks to get it to work how you want. Also, I'm still not entirely convinced by the horn sound objects, because they don't hold the horns. There's the road replacement service, I've just realized. Should be objects for horn trigger on, horn trigger off. It would be nice, yeah. I hope that this isn't floating anywhere. It doesn't look like it is, but I guess if it does turn out to be floating in some places, I will have to go back and change some of these places later again as well. Actually here to keep the curve, I do kind of have to change the height for both of these spots. Looks okay probably. Zuckerwurz. No, cane, not root. Right, that's good. That means the sugarcane branch is fixed. Now let's hurry along here. I might take that fictional commodity. I make the fictional commodity on my PL1 route. I mean, if you want to, but if you want it to be realistic or to feel realistic, then I would suggest sticking with commodities that actually exist, and if possible, ones that are that exist in that area as well. Hold on. Wonder if that exists in that area. I don't know. Also, we never did put in that level crossing here, but I don't really think that it's needed. Also, I don't think that we used that road that much over here, if I recall correctly, at least for crossings. Yeah, because it's mostly asphalt crossings. Yeah, I think we're good over here. Trainz, the one leading up to the turntable? No, that doesn't cross over anything. That just it doesn't cross over the tracks. So it should be good height-wise. Over here it'll be interesting when the one from Horror Point Sidings joins up, because that has a bit of overlap. Yeah, because that comes over here and then gets very close, and then it overlaps. And it is a little bit too low here. Over here it's good. Let's be raised up somewhat. And color-wise, I do think that this fits really well with the ground textures as well, so that's quite good, that we don't really have to change much or anything about the ground textures. That fits really well, I think. Even if some of the ballast of the tracks is poking through a little, which I unfortunately can't really do much about, unless I raise this up even higher, but then I don't want to cover up the tracks too much. Like that's almost that's a bit too much. It needs to be like that. So I do need a little bit of the track to go through. Love this. Looks so much more natural. Whoops, that was too far. That spline point could be a tiny little bit higher. Okay, well then it splits off and it's not going to cross over again because it's going to go down to the road. Okay, now let's go up this branch. We've got a little bit of this up here. Well, I'll have to put in a spline point there and then raise that up. over here as well. Even though, yes, I do realize that that's not ideal for vehicles to drive over, but it's okay. Pups272, hello, how are you today, as Kangafango says. Also, I apologize if I'm not saying a whole lot. It's because I am feeling a bit tired at the moment. I'm sleepy, and might rest, probably. Yeah, that's understandable. Mad night's rest? That all looks good. Over here it doesn't cross over. Not sure what you meant by the last part, sorry. Bad. Oh, bad night's rest. Oh, I see. Have you tried background sounds like I know some people like the sound of rain or even just track like train sounds like for 10 hours or something. You can find them on YouTube, and if you play that over speakers or something, if you download it and then play it over speakers so you don't get loud ads interrupting, maybe that could help, although I don't know what your exact situation is. Not ambience, that's not a good idea for sleeping. I know you didn't write that, but still. Right now, this I don't believe crosses over at all. No, okay. So now we go over to Northusia, because I'm finally replacing the broken JR road with the shadows. Yeah, I'm replacing it with a different one, with the Sam road, I believe, which looks much better in the shade. Basically this one, it fits very well with the textures, although it is a little shallower by default, so I do have to raise it up in some places where it crosses the tracks, which is what I'm doing currently. And then once I've finished doing that, which I will have shortly because I don't think we've got that many of this road left on the map that I didn't already do, then we'll get back to building. I know that we've got a few, well, one crossing at least over here that comes in from the left. Actually, maybe two crossings. Although, that one looks good. So does that one. Wait, did we already use this road here, perhaps? Yeah, I'm starting to think that we've already used this road here. Although, maybe not. Maybe it just happens to just work. Right, now over to the other branch. I do like that these old water textures have been updated to be reflective. That adds so much. Ambulance now SMR edition. No, 10 hours MVR edition. We could take a look back on the streams. It's not really any point. But yeah, if you look at what this little cutting looks like, with all these boulders and with the trees growing out of them, and compare what that looks like to the cutting over here, you can see how bare and unfinished this looks. Yeah, it's pretty clear that I will have to go over some of these areas again to make them look a bit better. Ah yes, the four falls, very nice. If I do say so myself, which I just did. We've got this here, which is good. Got that there, which is also good. And then we've got nothing else, pretty much. This stretch all works. And I'm still really happy with how wibbly wobbly this track turned out here. I'm really happy with how that looks. And then that doesn't have any crossing points along here. Right, so that's the road replaced. Now to delete the test pieces, and then we'll continue working on the fields. Yeah, I do think that this looks much better. Just look at how good that looks going through the shade there. And by good, I mean normal, non-broken. Was it the same road? You tell me. You tell me? What do you mean, you tell me? Let's have a look. I don't know. It does look like it, actually. It does look like it. It looks like it's the same road. It would be easier to tell if there were shadows going over it. Yeah, that is the same road. I can tell. From this angle, it's much more obvious. So much better, yes. Good, as in somewhat bearable to the eyes when exposed to relative lack of sunlight. Hello, Mr. Conductor 123, welcome. I buy Derail Valley. Oh, have you tried it out yet? I did get it. I tried it on the virtual machine because it's for Windows only, and there are graphics issues due to my virtual machine, or due to the hardware. But hopefully when I get the new computer, which will replace my old one that is no longer functional, it will hopefully work. But have you tried it? And if so, what's your experience with it? I tried to do Valley on virtual machine. Okay, so let's actually do the thing I wanted to do, which is put in a dirt road going back here between these fields. Graphical box, as it said, invisible ground unless looking down. Right. Let's grab the grass spline. Is that the wrong one? I think that's the wrong one. Yeah, I'll need the other one. Now, where did I use this? Probably somewhere over here. That one, I believe. Yes. I don't think I'll have to add it all the way back. I think just up to there is more than enough. Yeah, just so you can see a little bit of detail going back there. No, I'm not going to use any of those other splines because it's not needed. I mean, there's literally just at the very end of the line here, if you happen to, I mean, even from back here, you're not really going to see it. Just if you happen to push a car all the way back here, then if you look back this way, you can see it a little bit in the distance. Yeah, we don't really need much of anything there. Although I do want a low tree. What does that one look like? That one's a bit too tall. That one? That one's good. Because I want to try to have a row of quite low trees along here to help the illusion of greater distance. Not perfect because it's all the same height. If I had some of these ones in the mix. No, I don't like it. I do not like it. I much prefer the feeling when it was more open. Maybe just a few bushes, actually. These lower ones. Okay, what if I put a few different ones in there as well? How about these ones as well? These ones are a little bit taller. No, bush seal 2 wouldn't work here. No, the height difference isn't big enough. Need to undo those. Let's try some of these ones. I know I'm spending quite a bit of time on this, but I just wanted to look right, as you can probably tell. Yeah, if I use some of these ones, then that's just a massive height difference there, although maybe in sort of clusters. How does that look? Good, but a little too regular. Maybe one more there. Ah, that I actually do quite like. Yeah, I agree. It is a great asset. Now, what is what is that tree row? Actually, yes, that's a good point. I wanted to add a tree row along here. Okay. Is that going to look good, or is that going to look a bit too closed off? Yeah, maybe along the straight, but not along the curve, I think. Also, I think just those two types of trees are almost enough, but I just need something a little bit lower down to fill in some of the gaps. And I'll probably put in the spline as well. Okay, that looks good. Although perhaps a few little trees between there, just so that the edge isn't as exposed as it is there. Or maybe some of these small shrubs. So just a few along there, like so. Maybe one more of the shorter ones. Maybe a couple more of the shorter ones in there. Looks quite accurate, yeah. Really? Good. Interesting. Organ, yeah. Well, organ's fine. As far as I'm aware. Okay, and then I'll put a field in there just so that it doesn't look as empty. Which kind? I'm tempted to go with this one, but maybe that one back there. Yeah, organ's very nice. And tasty too. Have you had it on pizza? Oregon. Haha. Yeah, you're thinking of parsley. Now, does this need any sort of tree boundaries? I think I'll just continue those little shrubs back there. Well, I say little, they're actually quite large, but they're smaller than the trees. And some of the lower ones. You see, I mean, this is one thing that might be useful to you in your route building endeavors, which is point of view. Because whenever I'm building something like this, which you should really have realized by now with how many of my Trainz live streams you've watched, all of them, whenever I'm building anything that's at least a little bit away from the tracks, or even if it's close by actually, I always angle the camera down to see what it would look like from the tracks. And then I decide, does it need more detail or does it need changing or anything like that. On PL1, I did try that. Ah, good. So then, is the to make it look good from multiple angles? Yeah, that's really good. So then, what did you do detail-wise? Did you decrease the amount of detail further away, or like what did you do there? I do think we need a few more bushes on this little bit here. Maybe some of these ones. Actually, no, not those ones. I need the brighter ones. These ones. Not sure how much I succeeded, but still. In what do you mean? Making it look good from multiple angles, or in being efficient with your object economy? Or detail economy, if you want to use a different term. Share on my computer. The game is going at 60 FPS. Shara, in my computer, not sharing, sorry. Shara, in my computer, game is going at 60 FPS. Oh, great. I'm glad that it's working great for you. Okay. I think I'm going to have to get rid of a little bit of this texture of the field. Sort of like that. And in terms of fences, I actually don't really see the need for them here. Although I do want some sort of a visible barrier along here so that the... actually, how about just some grass blinds? Just like that. Oh. What was that? Can't see anything having fallen over. It's probably fine. It's just been a door snapping or something like that. Or somebody breaking in, who knows. Whole baseball is basically packed full of details. And that's it. The thing about the angles. 1 second. Code Monkey, hello. The unmistakable sound of pets, ghosts or structural failure. Well, it's not pets. That much is sure. Ghosts, perhaps. But I think Ghost Lady isn't active at the moment. So it's pretty much got to be structural failure then. Which means that I should definitely continue to stream. Also, welcome to the stream, of course. If you hear another loud crashing sound and it suddenly ends, you know that the roof caved in. Yeah, I'm just going to add a few more of these bushes, just literally just maybe 2 or 3 along here, and move them down to the ground a lot, just to show, okay, we have put detail here, it's not just empty. Even that, like basically showing it's supposed to look quite empty and desolate along here. So yeah, like that. I think that's okay. Maybe one more there. So I think that's good. I don't think we need anything further back there. I think having that tree line there is fine. Who knows? Maybe Ghost Lady messing with the piping. Maybe. Yeah. Good old reassuring Paradise at it again. All of the above. Yeah. Okay, so let's call the fields up to this point done for now. Well, actually, maybe it would be nice putting a tractor or something up here. What's the sowing machine called? Not like to sow seeds. Is it called a planter or seed? No. I don't know what's called. Cultivator? What? Really? Let's have a look on the DLS quickly. Ah, there we are. Oh, that's a product load. And that's a scenery object, good. Both planter are used for certain crops, seeders used for grains. Ah, interesting. I didn't realize there were, I mean, it makes sense, of course, that there are different types for different kinds. But I haven't played Farming Simulator in a long time. The last version of it I played was 2011, and I haven't done any farming IRL for at least 200 years. So I think things have changed since then a bit. So it's interesting to learn about this. Come on. Hold on, how large was that asset? I didn't even look. Ah, yeah. In retrospect, I'm probably not going to use this. This is almost 50 megabytes. Nope, that's too large. Sorry. I'm just going to put a plow up behind it. It's far enough away anyway, so that you will just be able to see, oh, it's pulling something. Also, yes, this is a tractor with a with a shovel in front, which I do find quite funny. Yeah, just a little farming implement back there. The only farming sim I've ever played was 2011 and Minecraft, I guess. Oh yeah, true. Like cotton is seeded by a planter. But how do they differ on a technical level? Like what is the method that a seeder uses as opposed to a planter? Is it like, does a planter put in already grown little plants and a seeder just spreads seeds? Or like what is the different, like what do they do differently? Yeah, the objects are huge. Playing? I am playing Farming Simulator 2022 at present. And how is that? Is it actually interesting? Question mark. Also, are we going to use these? I do quite like the look of something being over on this side of the road as well. I'm not sure if these objects are necessarily the best choice. Although I do quite like the look of that. But, maybe having it further back a little bit, so that from a skyline point of view, it doesn't overlap with a building which is already quite tall. Main difference is the depth of the seeds into the ground, but not the only difference. I see. Whereas, yeah, that does look a lot better. Not right in front. See, it's all about perspective and line of sight with building stuff like this. Then maybe we can have another little warehouse or something on the side here. Maybe a factory like this one. One of the SAP old factories. Although, I suppose it doesn't really fit that well with the style. That one fits a lot nicer. Although maybe like that. Or maybe just a big warehouse. Or maybe none of the above. Although I do quite like how that looks there. Maybe if I bring in more of the kind of earthy textures. I know this might be a little much, but in Service Pack 5 it's become a lot more tricky to actually layer textures like this. It feels like they get painted on much faster. That, like, you've got to, even if I just press the mouse button as short, like for as short a period of time as I can, it still feels like it's putting down much more texture than it used to in older versions of Trainz as a whole, and of course TOS 19 specifically. And I think that's quite a nice mix, though I do have to trim it a little bit. Just sort of like this. Why can't they just have an opacity slider for the texture brush? That would be very, very helpful. Okay, let's put a fence. And I think I'm just going to use a normal gate here, not the security gate. Because if you think about it, all of these gates have to be manned. They've got to have personnel there, which is going to be very expensive because, of course, the labor involved in these procedures is why, like the cost of it is why so much of it is mechanized, of course. That plus the efficiency. But I'm sure that if machines weren't more efficient than people in these situations, then people would still be used, even if you would have to employ so many more of them. But if it was cost effective and if it wasn't, yeah, basically because efficiency does translate into cost as well, of course. So yeah, I don't really want to get into all of that because I'm a bit too tired for that, because that's a big topic. Ticket kiosk? No, not here. Sorry. Okay, so now what are we going to put in here? Is this going to just be industry all the way along here? If it is, then we just need basically one road like that and then the cluster of industry buildings, but I don't think that I like that. I like the idea of this being a green space, like a field or something in here for most of it. Because then you've of course got the rural fields stuff, then you've got industry and then another little bit of field, and then it goes into the high density industry stuff over here. I think that's much more interesting than having just a jagged edge. Plus it highlights the diesel, well, the oil chemical plant much more, rather than if it were just part of the industrial area. Also, I wanted to make this cement, perhaps. Yeah, I suppose that does look good. It makes it look like it is deliberate. Also perhaps on some of the other ones as well. If we had other ones. Do we not have other bridges in here? I guess we don't. I thought we did. I'm probably misremembering. Actually, no, we had one more over here. But this one's got... Yeah, this one's got already grass underneath it, so that's fine. Maybe for tomorrow's race. You're typing. Ah, interesting. Water retention pool for some natural breakup. I mean, the interesting thing is about that, that this, because of the switcher, we've decided to call this whole processing facility it's the fresh pond oils. So if we actually have a fresh pond over here, that would be funny. Plus, I suppose it could be like an evaporation pool where they dump chemicals and wait for all of the water to evaporate away, leaving the chemicals in the ground, which would, of course, damage the environment in this area quite significantly, especially since you've got residential buildings so close. But that does seem quite realistic, especially for the time. I mean, that sort of stuff is still being done today, obviously, but... yeah, or a sewage treatment plant. No, because the sewage treatment plant would probably be closer to a river. I like the idea of the majority being green space too, but maybe if you add one more stripe of industry next to the road that you've got, like one road going parallel to the other one. Like here, you mean? No. No, that, I mean, I'm probably going to add a few industries along this road, a few factories or something, but I don't think I'm going to add another road paralleling this. Let's see what a little pool would look like here. Maybe just, well, I suppose it could go right here. Just something like that. Then what height would the water need to be at? Lower than this, definitely. It's a little annoying that I can't see it with the reflections, but yeah, it doesn't have to go deep. In fact, it shouldn't go deep. It should go about like that, and then there should be a higher mound on the side to help keep the water in, just in case of flooding. Although 2 meters, 1 meter is probably enough for visuals here. Come on. Okay, yeah, just like that. Just kind of built up around the edges a little bit. Although I think it buried the road slightly. Yeah, it did. I need to quickly fix this. Like that. The chemical pond thing just reminds me of this, although it is quite a different situation. Pollution of Lake Kirkachov? Karache. Karache. Pollution of Lake Karache. Is that a nuclear incident? Located at Ural Mountains in eastern Russia, was a dumping ground for the Soviet Union's nuclear weapon facilities. Also affected this string of accidents and disasters causing the surrounding area to be highly contaminated with radioactive waste. Although the lake has had an area much smaller than that of Fukushima Daiichi, a nuclear power plant, blah blah blah. 7 kilometers away, inhabited, and the lake is surrounded by Mayak. Lake is still technically a natural area. Citation needed. It has been described as the most polluted spot on Earth by the World Watch Institute. Yeah. What happened to Lake Karache after the Kishtim disaster in 1957? And you could put a dump truck on the border layer of the shoreside somewhere, dumping stuff into it. No, because the sort of stuff that goes in here would probably go in via pipes. So I might just have like culverts coming in here or something like that. Yeah, just the rusty grey culverts. Let's do 2 for good measure. Well, I should probably have this be... Actually, since we're going up a little bit, actually that's a bit too much. -1. Yeah, just like that. Although I think that's a little too high up. I think it should go to -1.5. You could put signs around the lake, no swimming, etc. Maybe not my radiation sign risking, but others could fit. Thank us, alright, yeah. Poor lake, poor fish. What do you mean fish? This is an artificial pond that was specifically dug here for this purpose. There are no fish in here. And if there are, then they'd be alligators. Also, I want... Yeah, I want specific textures. Maybe that could look okay. Let's put this texture down first. But it's realistic. Fresh pond. Yeah. Although, imagine with reflections turned on, I bet that would look really nice, reflecting the sky and the buildings back there. Or maybe even trains, if you've got the camera angle just right and if they're tall enough on here. Every day something is freshly added. Yes. Well, every day that I'm streaming the root building process. I mean, I could just use this dark mud texture in here, and I think that would probably look good enough. But I'd really like some more kind of more brighter reddish mud textures to mix in. Yeah, fresh pond oils, providing you with the freshest chemicals every single day. Yes, of course. Oh, do you remember this mud texture? The mud 1, grass 1 and 1, 2. Do you remember that? I remember using this, well, I remember trying to use this one on so many routes because I thought that the kind of brownish green looked much more realistic than the very intense greens, but I never found a proper use for it. And it looks like I still won't here, unless if I just, well, I guess I suppose I could kind of dapple it in a little bit there, but then, not sure if I like that much. Nah, it just kind of gets rid of a lot of the detail in the other textures, and I don't want that. Oh, yes. Mud of Girl is nice. Yeah, I know, but it looks very low resolution. Oh, on PL1 I did use some good point textures too, but I'm not sure if you would want to load that again. No, not at the moment. Ooh, looks interesting. Yeah, a lot of these older textures just had so much more character, I think. It might be... Ooh, that one looks nasty. If only the pattern didn't repeat that often. But yeah, a lot of these old textures, maybe it's the same sort of thing that's the reason why a lot of the old games with low resolution textures just have so much more character. Like for example, this texture, yeah, it looks great. You can, it's a photo basically. It's photorealistic, but it doesn't have as much character as this texture, for example, because here you can feel like mosses and mud in between, and it feels, you can imagine being there better and have a better connection to the texture, I feel, than with some of the photorealistic ones. At least I feel that way. Ah, this texture might be good. That one, if I can fit... Oh yes, that's what I wanted. Just sort of dabbled in around some of these places. Even if I think the scale of it is maybe a little large, but it's on its minimum value. Haha, ew. Make it larger? What do you mean? This texture? No. I do want the pattern. I mean, if I did make it larger, then no, you'd still see the objects in it. Oh no, it looks nasty one. Ah. Actually, I think I quite like this. By like, I mean, I think that it looks quite realistic and not safe at all. But yeah, if you look at it like this, with those quite distinct red coloring on the mud, you can tell that there's been some chemical reactions going on, or deposition or something like that. Oh, right. Yeah, that looks pretty nasty. Love it. Most of the mud textures from 2406 versions were very good. I've been using more older textures on my map. Probably use them. Well, yeah, you're right. A lot of those really old textures were very good and really full of character and, well, personality, I guess. Even though the two words mean very similar things. Actually, I want to look up a little bit of reference. 1 second. One second, let me see if I can find something. Yeah, chemical evaporation pond. Yeah, so sort of, I mean, there's of course a much larger scale sort of thing we're looking at here. But you can see this is the sort of thing I was aiming for. Or this, as you can see there. Or here. I mean, of course, not all of these are the same things. Or even use the same stuff. But yeah, that's the sort of thing I was looking at. Or rather, looking to build or to emulate, I suppose. Right. Oh, I could reskin Dave Snow's sign, which I've put the radiation stuff on for your route. Trainz, fresh oils, no swimming. Thank you for the offer, but I don't know that that's necessary. Also, should I? Yeah, because, I mean, okay, hold on. There might already be a no swimming sign. No, there isn't. But I don't know if there would even be enough space on it for that. But yeah, do we even need a fence along here or not? Because, I mean, if this was later, like maybe in the 80s or the 90s or something like that, then yeah, I'd definitely put fence around here. But being the 60s / late 50s, probably 60s, given the sort of stuff we're going to be running here, I don't know that I would need that here. What do you think? It does, however, mean that we really can't have much stuff growing right next to it. So, I mean, it's still part of their premises, I know, but you can't really sabotage much here unless you want to spill the water. Maybe have something around, maybe use grayer grass textures around it. No, I don't want it to look that toxic to everything around it. I think just having it here and having the kind of bright red mud on the edges, I think that does enough. I want to be a little bit subtle with it, after all. I actually quite like it without a fence. I think if I put a fence around it, then I think that might make it look a bit too dangerous, or too obviously dangerous. Right, now are we going to have fields over here? I think I will want to have a field. Actually, tell you what, let's put in those few industry buildings along here first. Also, I never put ballast on this ramp going up to the yard, I've just seen. Let's quickly rectify that. There we go. Much nicer. In fact, I think this whole area looks finished. Right, so that's the MVR, people. Was a good project. Took a bit longer than expected. Should be released very soon. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Imagine, though, if that was the only thing that was missing, that was the deciding factor between whether I think the route's finished or not, that little bit of ballast there. Right, so I don't want there to be factories and stuff all the way along here. I want there to be kind of little clusters, if that makes sense. Yeah, that unfinished bit. Nonsense. It allows for audience input. It's an interactive... It's an incentive for their imagination. Ha ha ha. Yes, of course. But do I prefer that building being there or not? I think I prefer it not being there, actually. So maybe having it over on the other side, like over there. Is there industry? Is there a green space? Let your mind decide. Now, do I like that? Or do I prefer it not being there? I think I actually do prefer that not being there. Although from over here... maybe if I moved it up a little bit to like here. Wait, isn't that yellow cake there? Isn't that our old friend? Yeah, it is. Good. Okay, I think maybe having this building here is good enough. Okay, let's just add a little bit of grass on the edges. I will add a few more asphalt textures in between as well, of course, to make it look more realistic and also make it fit a little bit better with the other areas. Yellow cake. After all that time, just yellow cake. I'm just going to add a few more spots of this texture along here just to get rid of a few of those dark spots which are a little bit too obvious. And then adding in some grass splines and some of these bits is going to help a lot as well. 3 minutes, yeah. Okay, how does that look? Does that give enough of a transition between these areas. What does it look like looking down the road? Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I do want to at least try out having a field in here. Although I will want there to be a reasonable gap between the toxic pool and the crops. I think, I mean, and realistically speaking, probably like 20 miles would be reasonable, but I think 20 yards is fine as well, isn't it? Is this too big to be one field, or is that? No, actually that size-wise that's good. That's keeping in with the other sizes. Mishandling chemicals is my middle name. Freshman Oil CEO. Haha. I mean, with a name like that, it's no wonder he became CEO of Fresh Pond Oils. Now, should the field go right in there, or should there be a bit more of a, like maybe a little green space with trees or something like that? Let's fill it in and we'll see. Fun fact, this exists. Fresh Pond, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Yes, that word. I do know how to pronounce it, by the way. Nice. The switcher is called FP&J SW1500. Ooh, that's a nice texture, even though it does repeat quite severely. Now, do I actually like the field going in there? I mean, I suppose it is quite a sizable area. It looked smaller from further away, but then again, it's probably just because these fields tend to be quite large. Odd, I can't find anything under FP&J either. Maybe the website doesn't support the ampersand symbol. I don't know, maybe. Also, this could be the access point, and that's why the field goes all the way down to here. Okay, and then we'll need grass lines, and I may remove some of the field just to have the width of the spline fit on nicely. Good call. John or Edward? John call? Edward call? No, John or Edward, good call. Both. Good call, bros. That was a good idea. What's being farmed here? Sorry. Just probably some sort of grain, I would be guessing. And yes, I am probably going to detail this area a bit more later as well and put a bit like maybe shrubs and stuff in there, because it is after all very close to the tracks on the left, or the industrial sidings. Oh, come on. Is everything still working? Trainz appears to have frozen. I hope that I saved recently. I don't remember. Well, I guess we'll wait until it either crashes or unfreezes. I mean, I think at worst case scenario, I'd have to redo the field. Because I did definitely save when I put down those two industrial buildings. Okay, well, we're almost at 11, so I guess I'll just sit here for a few minutes waiting to see if it does catch itself or not. And if it hasn't done so by the end of the stream, by the end of the time, I'll just end the stream there and then deal with it off stream. By the way, it is only Trainz that's frozen. You can see my stream over here. I can move in fine. Twitch chat as well is good here. It's just Trainz that appears to be frozen. I'll just have to take one out of the stream. I don't really want to do something like that hastily, because when you force quit something like this, it could cause corruption and damage. So, although it does look like it's not likely to catch itself. Yeah, I think it's probably not going to work. I can move this window. Yeah, but I can't. If I press the close button, then the message should pop up, and then I don't think that's good. Yeah, I'll end the stream now. So, well, at the beginning of next stream, we might be about where we were, or we might have to redo a field. So, I do save very regularly, so not much should be lost. But sometimes these things happen. So anyway, see you tomorrow, and where you'll see the exciting turnout of whatever's going on now. I guess worst case scenario, there will be no stream, because if this does cause irreparable damage to the whole operating system installation, which I don't think will happen, but that's worst case scenario, or it burns out the computer, then there wouldn't be one. But other than that, just do the field again off stream, so no one will know. Good point. We should reboot it off stream. Maybe. I'll consider it. Good night. Bye bye.